Morning, legends. Monday morning. I'm a little bit tired today because I stayed up really late watching Revenge of the Sith at the cinemas for the first time since I was like a 9-year-old child, man. And that was really good fun. But today is a Q&A Monday. We've got to bring it back. We haven't done it in 3 weeks, so let's get some questions rolling. So question number 1 is, when will I start doing 100K weeks again? Great question. Next week. Nah, I don't actually know. The thing is, I'm just enjoying being able to sit on the couch or sit at the cinemas and watch Revenge of the Sith without burning pain in my leg. The burning pain is gone, which is amazing. It's like the most relieving thing ever to not have that fucking burning pain in my leg constantly. But the thing is because this nerve is still really, really sore because obviously they burnt the shit out of it. Whenever I actually touch the nerve at the hip here, it sends shooting pains all down my quad. That's okay, I can manage that. And you know, it's still just like really pinchy and tight when I'm walking, but eventually it'll get there and then we can get back running. How good? But to answer your question, 100K weeks, probably never. But I want to hear from you guys. Let me know in the comments below, either questions for next week or what your favorite childhood movie is. I want to go to work, so I'll see you guys at lunch. Okay, question time. Question 1, when did you start becoming a physio? Well, 2020 is when I graduated and started working. So right in the middle of COVID, it was absolute mayhem. Okay, next question. How should I structure my long runs, intervals, tempo, and threshold runs during base phase? During base phase, it's all about building the resilience in the body and maintaining a generalized, non-specific amount of fitness. So what this means is that you keep your long runs, keep your easy runs, okay? And what you can start to add in is some steady running, meaning that it's not at threshold, it's in between. This helps to keep the legs moving, keep the legs strong over long distances. So maybe like every fortnight or so, doing like a steady long run, really good. Also doing lots of hills and strides. I don't necessarily think that you have to do workouts during this phase. Maybe you can chuck in a workout maybe every 10 days and cycle between a bit of VO2, a bit of threshold, but keep it relatively short and easy and not putting yourself in the absolute gutter. That's what I would do for base training. As well, of course, as doing strength training, because you need that during this phase. Oh, I can't forget strength training. Actually, I just remember this funny story. Well, actually not really funny. It was pretty horrible at the time. So I started working in 2020 as a physio, and within about 6 weeks of me starting work, COVID just went crazy and Australia decided they wanted to lock down the whole country with about 3 cases nationally. So essentially I got called up on like a Friday or something like that. I was on my way to work and they basically said, hey, you don't have a job anymore. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess last one in, first one out. So that was a good way to start my physio career in 2020. Epic. Work hard, play hard. Someone asked what my favorite food is. Right now, it's grapes and dates for lunch. The only way to get fit is to eat enough grapes and dates at lunch to boost your VO2 max by like 1,000. So here's something weird, right? I was crossing the road back there and I had to quickly, run across the road to not get hit by a car. And that actually hurt less than just walking. And I don't know why, but that makes me think that I should probably start running 100Ks a week this week. Just need 100 kilos more grapes. And then I'll be ready to go. Let's do the rest of these questions and do some stretching. Okay, Next question, how to strike a balance between stretching, strength training, and running? Well, stretching doesn't necessarily negatively impact strength training and running. So realistically, all you have to do, that hurts, is balance strength training and running. And so without really knowing your goals, it's really hard to give advice on how you should balance that. For example, if you're a runner and you want to get faster at running, everything around your strength training should be associated with making you faster and more efficient, and also not at the detriment of your actual training itself. Whereas if you're trying to find a balance, then it's probably more likely that you're going to be, having some hard strength training days and then some hard running days, and working those into your schedule. For example, if you had, say, strength training the legs, you did that on a Tuesday, and you made sure that your running session or hard intervals or whatever would be later in the week, maybe on a Saturday, and that way you can kind of spread them apart so you can recover from both and still get stronger and faster. But like I said, it's really hard to know without knowing your goals. Okay, now next question. How do I stop blisters forming on my feet, mainly at the tips of my toes? I don't tend to get them for runs under 10 Ks, but anything over I do. Blisters are coming from a movement of your foot in your shoe. It's a friction. So what you can do is, if you can't stop that movement, say for example, the shoes just don't quite fit you very well, maybe you can get different shoes. That's probably not going to help. What I would say is that you have to allow that movement without it being on your skin. The best thing that you can do is potentially get some 100% polyester, or what I call polyamide. I think it's called polyamide socks. They're like cycling socks, and what they do is they tend to move with your skin rather than moving with the shoe, okay? What the problem is when the sock actually moves with the shoe rather than with your actual skin, okay? Another way that you could do that if you don't have any special socks is actually wearing 2 pairs of socks, so 2 thinner pairs of socks. That means that the socks will rub over each other and they won't actually cause any friction on your foot. Another thing you could actually do is check your, gait. Maybe you have some gait issues that's causing you to kind of at toe off, twist your foot or something like that. Maybe flip your shoe over and see where your wear patterns are. That could also be a thing, but generally speaking, socks are going to make the biggest difference, okay? Polyamide, polyamide. Okay, also known as nylon. Where the fuck did I get polyamide from? Just get some nylon socks and maybe get 2 pairs, wear them on top of each other, something like that. I used to always get blisters from normal socks, and then I started to buy these AliExpress polyamide socks, which are basically nylon, and they are so good. They just only move with your foot and there's just no rubbing. Absolutely amazing. Get on top of them. Okay, next question. I think I have peroneal tendonitis or something. Should I see a physio or a podiatrist? Great question, and the answer is either or none. You see, not all physios are made the same. Not all podiatrists are made the same. A lot of podiatrists, realistically, they go to work and they cut people's nails and they deal with stuff like that in terms of, the skin and the nails and stuff, the heels, maybe they got dry skin, things like that. That's what a lot of podiatrists actually look after, just like a lot of physios look after people's backs and, people with osteoarthritis and degenerative condition, things like that. What you have to do is go see either a physio or a podiatrist that specialize in running mechanics and, running related injuries and things like that. I don't think it necessarily matters, because a good podiatrist and a good physio will essentially do the same kind of thing for a peroneal tendonitis. Actually, maybe the outcome will be slightly different. Maybe the physio is going to be more exercise based. The podiatrist might look at, working their way through different kinds of shoes with you, looking at your mechanics as you're running in different shoes, maybe looking at some insoles, things like that. Maybe the physio also does that, because I definitely would be looking at that too. Like I said, just go find a physio or a podiatrist that really like runners and really like running injuries, and then you have a winner. Go see either or, whatever's better for you. Epic. Oh, okay, freaks. That is all the questions that I have or that you gave me for today. If you have any more questions, send them in the forum below in the P-Stride Run Club comment section, or just comment them on Instagram when I put up the Sunday questions and answers post on my story. Either or, whatever you want to do. And then we'll get it done next Monday. Q&As are good, but you know, if I don't have any questions, then I obviously can't do them. So see you guys tomorrow. You know what? Just for you guys that stayed until the end, I'm gonna go for a little jog to that soccer goal and back. Hopefully no one steals my shit. Yeah, nah, not ready for it yet.